What's up? All right, it looks like we're live on Periscope and YouTube and Twitter. Actually, yeah, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. So I'm gonna take this arrow off in the middle. Like I'm gonna take it off eventually because it's kind of like weird and distracting. It's like, it looks like it's like going across my chest, even though it's supposed to be like connecting two pictures. So what's up? Elliot, good morning, good evening. Rosemary, what's up? I got your text. Thank you so much. It was really sweet. And what up Doug? What up everybody? So everybody has such different reactions. The Twitch stream ended, by the way, so if you were on Twitch, I guess you can't see this if you were watching this on Twitch, but go hop over to YouTube. I don't know why my Twitch account, it's been hacked and it's just acting really annoying. So like I don't even like to rely on that really, but if you were watching this on Twitch, I hope you make it to Periscope or YouTube. Alrighty. So I'm just gonna share the YouTube link online. And all right. What up? Paul Nye the Science Guy. Isn't that Bill Nye the Science Guy? Haha. Yeah, Bill Nye the Science Guy. So, the star of Juno, Elliot Page, announced today that she is a he, and that it was like a whole letter. I'll read it to you. It's getting a lot of traction online, and people are like being really emotional about it. It's like such an emotional thing. She announced that she is a dude and her name is Elliot. So now we're gonna say he. And like how she doesn't want to be like bullied and everything, and she, just, I'll read it to you. Oh my gosh, I just lost it. I'm gonna find it right now. Hi friends, I want to share with you that I am trans. By the way, in case you haven't watched Juno is from a while ago, and Juno is from a while ago. Elliot Page, I think that's when she was the most famous. Someone is asking, wasn't that from 20 years ago? Yeah, that was a while ago. She played alongside Michael Cera. She was like a teenage, pregnant teen, but like that was her character. But I don't know anything in which she was as famous that was more recent. So I think Juno is when she was the most famous. And I'm gonna say she, like, I don't care. What is anyone gonna do to me if I say she? Whatever, I don't care. But like, I don't remember her from anything that was more recent. So that's why I'm saying Juno. But I understand that she was in some more recent stuff. Josh says, Pardes, can you give a shout out to Pragmatic Takes? What's Pragmatic Takes? So she announced about a year ago that she's a lesbian and she's married to Emma, her wife Emma. I don't remember her last name, but then now she's announcing this. Okay, hi friends, I want to share with you that I am trans. My pronouns are he/they, and my name is Elliot. I feel lucky to be writing this, to have arrived at this place in my life. I feel overwhelming gratitude for the incredible people who have supported me alongside this journey. I can't begin to express how remarkable it feels to finally love who I am enough to pursue my authentic self. I've been endlessly inspired by so many in the trans community. Thank you for your courage, your generosity, and ceaselessly working to make this world a more inclusive and compassionate place. I will offer whatever support I can and continue to strive for a more loving and equal society. I also ask for patience. My joy is real, but it is also fragile. The truth is, despite feeling profoundly happy right now and knowing how much privilege I can carry, I am also scared. I'm scared of the invasiveness, the hate, the jokes, and of violence. To be clear, I am not trying to dampen a moment that is joyous and one that I celebrate, but I want to address the full picture. The statistics are staggering. The discrimination towards trans people is rife, insidious, and cruel, resulting in horrific consequences. In 2020 alone, it has been reported that at least 40 transgender people have been murdered, the majority of which were Black and Latino trans women. To the political leaders who work, by the way, like, I'm gonna go, if someone can go and research this for me, who was the perpetrator of those murders, by the way? Like, sorry for interrupting this. She's saying the majority of people, the majority of these 40 transgender people that have been murdered, that are Black and Latino, who were they murdered by? So if you have a chance and you can Google this for me, let me know. Come back in the comments and tell me. And I'm genuinely curious, like, how do these people get murdered? Okay? And I'm sorry, I feel like that's awful. That's awful that they were murdered. I want to know who did it and how. Like, where did it happen? Okay. To political leaders who work to criminalize trans healthcare and deny our right to exist, and of those with a massive platform who continue to spew hostility towards the trans community, you have you have blood on your hands. You unleash a fury of vile and demeaning rage that lands on the shoulders of the trans community, a community in which 40% of trans adults report attempting suicide. Enough is enough. You aren't being canceled. You are hurting people. I am one of those people, and we won't be silent in the face of your attacks. I love that I am trans. I love that I am queer. And the more I hold myself close and fully embrace who I am, the more I dream, the more my heart grows, and the more I thrive. To all trans people who deal with harassment, self-loathing, and abuse, and the threat of violence every day, I see you, I love you, and I will do everything I can to change this world for the better. Thank you for reading this. All my love, Elliot. Elliot being formerly Ellen. Andrew says, I heard she's replacing the whole cast of The Matrix. Alrighty. Doug says the stat also makes the TG community one of the safest in the country. Every death is awful, but the 40-year thing makes it such a tiny fraction. It's relatively safe. No, 40 transgender people. She said 40 transgender people have been murdered in 2020, not in 40 years. By the way, do you like this? Do you like this glass, this mug? My childhood piano teacher bought it for me for my birthday. And she's really sweet, and that's really nice of her. But, 40 per year. Yeah, 40 per year. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the numbers, but so many Black and Latino people are murdered every year. And that I don't like to say Black and Latino people are murdered every year, because then I have to say who's murdering them. And it's definitely not a systemic white people murdering Black and Latino people problem. So, I mean, it's definitely people should deal with the issue, but it's definitely not a white on colored crime issue, like the way the media makes it seem. And I mean, based on people being murdered and people doing the murdering, just based on that, it's definitely not the way that the media makes it seem. So her thing is it's not anything. It's pretty classic. I'm transgender. hello everybody, I'm transgender and I feel whatever, this and that, and she subtly refers to people who complain about being canceled. You're not being canceled, you are hurting people. I am one of those people, and we won't be silent in the face of your attacks. So the people being canceled, the people who complain about being canceled, that's people on the right, mostly people on the right who are Trump supporters. Those are the people that are being canceled. Being canceled meaning being deplatformed, losing their livelihoods, getting fired, getting kicked out of communities, getting harassed, getting doxxed, and basically like being kicked out of civilization. So that's her message to those people who complain about being canceled. You are hurting people, being transgender people. So that she is asking to not be grouped. She's asking to not be harassed. And in doing so, she targets a group of people and she says it's their fault that she's harassed. So she's basically doing the thing that she's asking to not do. She's saying she's identifying a group of people that she says are the reasons, it's their fault that trans people are getting murdered. By the way, again, look at the statistics. I don't know the statistics, so just go and look it up. Come back to me, please. And I'm gonna. So go look at the statistics. I can guarantee you almost just like with a pretty good guess, it's not white people doing these murders. Okay? So go and look at the statistics. Who's doing the murdering? Who's doing the murdering of Black and Latino trans people? Whose fault is this? So she's saying it is your fault, you people who complain about being canceled, which is Trump supporters. Okay, so Trump supporters are the ones that are, and then she's saying I am one of those people and I won't be silent in the face of your attacks. So, I mean, where does Elliot Page live? Canada. Thank you so much, Andrew. Thank you for the super chat on YouTube. Andrew says, and thanks for following here from Twitter. I mean, by the way, like I've been marketing my real estate stuff so much today, and I feel like I've been spamming everybody, but like I promise in the future I'm gonna try and keep most of it on I have separate pages for the real estate stuff, so I won't be spamming like my personal page with the real estate stuff. It's just right now, since it's the beginning and I'm trying to make people aware that I have like a bunch of real estate pages. So, but I'm gonna try and like not include that in this stuff because this stuff is more just fun. Flat Earth Truth says, according to Forbes, 331 trans people were murdered in 2019. Was that in the world or just in the US? Max Hyde says, honestly, I just don't care. I'll call her Elliot and I'll call her him. It doesn't affect me in any way. Yeah, like it really shouldn't affect anybody, and government shouldn't be involved. Like this whole thing about, oh, the government shouldn't be involved. Government shouldn't be telling people which bathrooms to use. I don't care. Like, I know there's some people who want there to be like government enforced like gender bathrooms. What? Like, we never had that before. You go to the doctor and there's like a unisex bath. There's always been like a men, there's always been a bathroom that everybody can use. Like, you go to your friend's house, your parents' house, you don't have a separate men's room and women's room in your house unless you're like really wealthy. Usually you share a bathroom with other people in your house because there's only so many bathrooms that you can have for everybody. Like, the government doesn't have a say in that. They shouldn't have a say in that. And most people that I know believe that way. Most of my friends are the people that she's directing her speech against, like saying like, you're afraid of being canceled, well, look at how I'm being canceled. Most people that are my friends that I know would agree with me. They don't care. They don't care. They don't want the government involved because it doesn't matter to them. You can call yourself whatever you want. I'm not gonna call you, like, I mean, I don't care. I'm not gonna like die on that hill, but I don't care what I call you. And if you're gonna get butthurt because I didn't go and like every other virtue signaling, I hate this so much. Not even for like on principle, I see it and it drives me nuts because it just reminds me of the obnoxious people that I was around in DC that were so virtue signally, like, OMG, congratulations, so proud of you. So proud of her for what? What are you so proud of her for? Are you really so proud of her? She announced that she's a dude, which she obviously is not. I mean, it's not like hate speech. Hate speech is saying that she should be punched in the face. I would never say that. Hate speech is saying, go after her. You know what they say that about? They say that about Trump supporters. They don't say that about trans people. Nobody says, go punch a trans person in the face. Go kill a trans person. Nobody says that. Maybe in the hood, they say that. Okay, but I don't know anybody who would unironically say like hate speech, actual hate speech against trans people or gay people or anybody. Like, they would say that about Trump supporters though. They would. And if you are a Trump supporter, I suggest you be safe. Or anybody who's on the right who doesn't go along with the whole, doesn't believe the media completely all the time. Oh, welcome. So brave. So cool. Like, so brave. Like, what planet do you live on? Do you live in the South? I mean, I don't even know if it's like this in the South. I mean, I'm in the South technically now, but like maybe in a very, very religious community, they're saying hate speech against trans people and LGBT people. Most people think it's funny. Yeah, it's funny when someone who's a girl says, hello, my name is Elliot, call me him and they. Call you they? Like, that's funny. It's not hate speech, it's funny. It's like if your friend who's a girl she looks even more girly than me. I mean, look at this picture. She looks more girly than I look. She's very pretty. It's like your friend who looks like that just one day is like, hey, I'm a dude. Call me him and they. Would you say him and they? No, I'd be like, I mean, I might say dude because I say dude anyway, but I'm gonna laugh. If you're my best friend and you do that and you say that, I'm gonna laugh. Like, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna kill you. Like, I'm not gonna say you're a Nazi, I should punch you in the face. But I'm gonna laugh. You're my best friend. If you're my sister, I'm gonna laugh if you say that. And you're like, call me they. Okay? Like, And she's still married to a lady whose name is Emma. So now is she straight now? So now she's like a straight man. Literally just the thing with this that's also different than other things, it's like with someone who's like, let's say someone who's gay, if they come out and they're like, I'm gay, people generally don't say like, haha, no, you're not gay. Usually people are like, oh, I knew that. But with someone who's like, I'm a dude, it's kind of different because it's more of like, this is what I identify as, not this is what I like. When someone comes out as like, so it's just different. It's different for the people who are responding to it. You have to, in order for it to not be hate speech, you have to change your perception of that person completely. And you have to change your reality. You have to change, or at least vocalize that you have a different perception of reality suddenly now, because that person is, it's like if I tell you that I'm the queen, I'm the Queen of England, call me the Queen of England. Like, you might say it as a joke, but obviously you're not gonna believe it because I'm not the Queen of England. And I have the right to identify as it, and I shouldn't be punished because I decided to call myself the Queen of England. But like, it shouldn't be so hard. Andrew says, one more because you're honest and my card is out anyway. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Andrew gave me another super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, like, I used to be way more honest, to be honest. I used to be way more honest in the beginning when I just got into politics and I was just getting to know the political landscape and I had just moved to DC. I was way more honest and I would just say whatever I saw because I had just been exposed to it. I had just actually left the religious community that I grew up in, so I was not really exposed to like secular stuff, and I wasn't really exposed to politics and political ideas, so everything was interesting to me. So I didn't understand the concept of a third rail, and I would just talk about everything that I saw. And people would get really mad, and they would say that I that's actually how I became famous, whatever. That's how I started to get views, was because I didn't realize that stuff I was talking about was so like virulent. And so I actually used to go viral all the time, my tweets, not because I was trying to, but just because I didn't realize that you're not supposed to say certain things, so I would just say whatever I wanted. And whatever I thought was interesting. And then I would get in so much trouble. I lost my job so many times, by the way. People don't know this because I was kind of ashamed about it and I didn't understand why it was happening at the time. Looking back, I understand it really well. I lost my job so many times because I tweeted about trans people, and still looking back, knowing what I know, looking back, nothing I said was so offensive at all or hateful or anything. Everything was just interesting to me, and it was fun and interesting, and I was learning about the world, and I was suddenly being punished constantly for things that I didn't understand why. DC was miserable for that reason. Like, it's fun otherwise, there's a lot of fun things that happen there, there's a lot that happens there in general, but saying anything, Popperation says, is this the superstar Texas real estate agent Pardes? Yes, it is. Thank you so much. Thanks for paying attention to the real estate stuff. I'm really excited about it. And by the way, I'll show you my Instagram page. So if you're interested, you could follow it. But I'll go back to that later. Max says Ellen played Kitty Pryde in X-Men. Yeah, Rosemary was saying that too. she was in X-Men. I never watched X-Men, but I'm sure she was a really girly character because she's always a very girly character. She was literally, the thing that made her famous was literally being a pregnant girl. So I don't care if you think it's hateful now. Looking back, nothing that I said that got me in so much trouble. Popperation says I already follow it. Thank you so much. Nothing that I said looking back was so hateful, and I just wish I could go back to the slightly younger me and give her a hug and tell her, like, it's okay. You were just interested in this thing and there's nothing wrong with what you said. You never even heard of the idea of transgender in your entire life, and now suddenly just because you said the word trans and you didn't say the word pronoun, you might lose your job, you might lose this, and you did, like, you didn't deserve that at all. And they're acting like, oh, everybody's crying for this person because she announced that she's trans. I don't feel bad for her at all. She's a rich Hollywood celebrity and you know what, like, I'm not like mad at her for that. I want you to be rich. I want everybody to be rich. That's literally my goal in life, is to be rich and help other people become rich. That's what I'm trying to do with my real estate stuff and with, like, literally everything else that I do. With the marketing, that's my goal, is I want to be rich. I want to help everybody become rich. And I want to help everybody that I love become rich. And so that, I don't see that as a bad thing, but literally this person is obviously already fine. And when you see somebody like that complaining and saying that your hurt doesn't matter because I am like this way, because and then all these simps are online like, I'm so proud of you. I don't care. I don't care about kissing these people's asses anymore. I kissed people's asses for 4 years straight in DC, and I don't care about virtue signaling anymore. Thanks for reminding me what it was, Jim. I for a second I forgot the word virtue signal. Yeah, I don't care about virtue signaling anymore because I'm not from that world. I was just interested and punished for it. So I don't care what those people have to say. I don't care what they think about me. I'm not working for them. I'm not in their communities anymore. I live in Texas now. I live in Dallas, Fort Worth. I live in, around a lot of different people. There's so many Trump supporters in my neighborhood. It's actually kind of funny. Like, I see it and I'm just like, whoa. Trump supporter, and they're openly Trump supporters, and they walk around with like Trump hats and Trump t-shirts and whatever. To me, that shows that you can pretty much say whatever you want without being afraid for your life, being afraid of getting stuff thrown at you in this neighborhood. And yeah. Joe says, hey, Joe, thank you so much. Joe Anderson. Joe is like one of the people who really, really knows this channel, who's been there, like, like some of you I could say, I like remember your names off the top of my head, like Paul Nye. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the congrats, and I love you guys so much. Also, like, it's cool and exciting to have friends that I can say whatever I want in front of. And another cool thing is one time I asked Jack Posobiec, this was years ago, I remember asking Jack Posobiec, which some of you might have heard of, for advice. on my Twitter stuff because I kept getting in trouble, and I kept for stuff I said on Twitter because, you know, when you aren't financially stable, it's much easier to get in trouble because people can cancel you more easily. You're more vulnerable. So I was just getting in trouble a lot. And I asked him for advice on the Twitter stuff, and he said, "You're doing fine, just be yourself and don't ever become a slave to your followers. Don't ever become get at a place where you're only posting things that your followers want to hear, and you're not posting things just because you're afraid that they won't like it. Don't become like a slave to what your followers want or what you think your followers want." So I think I'm really lucky because my followers, I know and remember and a lot of you I'm friends with like in real life, and I have your phone number, your cell numbers and whatever. Like, I don't feel like I have to say certain things. I don't feel like I have to say something for you to be happy. Like, I feel like I could say anything and you won't get offended either. I could just say the edgiest thing ever and you won't get mad. And it's like really cool. I could even say that I could say the most, like, I can come out and be like, "Hello, I'm a communist." And I can come out and say, "Hello, I'm a fascist," or like whatever. I can say anything and you won't care. And that's really cool. I don't know anybody else that has that as much in my view. I mean, Anomaly has a pretty dedicated fan base. That was really interesting to see. Anomaly, if you don't follow him, go and follow him because a lot of his stuff is kind of interesting. I just recently became exposed to his stuff, and I was really lucky that he just randomly came on my channel. It was so random, but yeah, like there's some people like that. Jim says, "You're one of the very few YouTubers that comes off as an old friend. Thanks for being real, Pardes." Thank you. And I think it's just because also, yeah, it's like the people on here are literally my old friends. Josh asks, thoughts on interning in DC? Should you intern in DC? Yeah, but yeah, go and intern in DC if it's something that you're interested in. But I would say try to have a second financial outlet. Try to have a financial, like a source of money that is not coming from Washington, D.C., because otherwise you're going to feel really unstable, and it's a little bit scary. Also, D.C. is kind of expensive, so try to have another source of income. Whether it is working, work as a bartender, that's pretty cool. Population is asking, where's King Richard III? He's studying. He's in law school. He's being very studious right now because try to have another source of income. And I would have, if I had to go back, I would have tried to have something. You need like a source of stability. So have a group of friends that you stick to, or try to have something before you go there. Like, have a best friend that you talk to like every day that is not from DC, that you can talk to about DC stuff, and that you can like go back to if something goes wrong in DC. Have a source of income that is not from politics and media, like bartending, for example. Becoming a bartender is the number one gig for people who are just out of college. I don't know if you're just out of college. You probably have done more. But for anybody, becoming a bartender is a great way to become. It's a great source of income. Like, you do make a lot of money bartending. You make more money than you would in media, for sure. In most bars, you make more money than you would in media. Right now with COVID, it's kind of hard, but I think it's still Like here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, people are still making good money as bartenders. And if you're dating, I would strongly suggest not dating in DC. But if you do date in DC, like, be very selective. It's not that anybody in DC is bad. Like, there are great people in DC that pass through DC, and there are people that, and you can ask as many questions as you want. I love talking about this because there's like so many things I would have told my old self. But there are great people in DC. It's just that those people are going to be less likely to be in a dating mindset in DC than they are somewhere else that's a little more stable, because DC is such a transient place. It's like being in a college town with a bunch of college kids and everybody is just there for a few years and they're leaving. So it's less likely that the person you meet in DC is going to want to stay with you even after they leave. Like, it's more likely that they're not from DC, they're just there for some internship or some like job, and then they finish it and then they move out. Flat Earth Truth says, what Christmas gift should I get my girl? I don't know. Get something that she's gonna use, and like, this is more just for yourself. This is, I noticed that guys like this. Get something that she's gonna like use or wear, and people are gonna keep asking her where she got it from, and she could be like, I got it from my boyfriend. Like, if I'm drinking this, if like my boyfriend got me this mug, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I got this from my boyfriend. I feel like girls like to do that, and guys like that. They like to be showed off too. They like to be shown off. And it's the same idea as like a wedding ring, because a wedding or an engagement ring, because it's like on your hand, people see it. You're kind of like advertising to the world, like, this is my man. So if you want like a more committal gift that is kind of like whatever, maybe like a t-shirt or a mug, or I don't know. That's kind of like a little, or socks. I don't know. I'm not really good at gifts. I'm really bad at gifts. Actually, I don't do like holiday gifts or birthday gifts. Usually the kind of gifts that I do are very random. It's like, oh, we had a conversation about something. Like, I had a conversation with my sister about makeup, and she was having acne issues. So I got her like a kit, like a makeup kit that was bare minerals that's supposed to be healthier for your acne. So that's what I got her. Or we were having a conversation about like making TikTok videos, because she wanted to make TikTok videos. So I bought her a tripod, and I sent it to her. So kind of like just something that your relationship is based off of. I'm gonna take this off because we're not talking about Ellen Page anymore. Popperation says an AK-47 is a thoughtful holiday gift. Yeah, it is. It's actually great. Tell her she should get her a license or whatever, because that might take a little bit of time. Doug says, here's from the CDC, the homicide rate for all Americans is 5.8 out of 100,000. For transgender individuals, it is less than half of that, at 2.8 out of 100,000. Whoa. So actually, it seems like the homicide rate for transgender people is even less than it is for normal people. So you're even less likely to be murdered if you're a trans person. And I wonder why that is. Whoa, that's really interesting, Doug. I had no idea. I thought it was still more, but this is so interesting. Like, this gets me so annoyed at these people who virtue signal. Oh no, we're oppressed. Come on. I don't care. The only reason that we care that anybody is even remembering who this person is that was famous 20 years ago is because she's announcing that she's a dude. Which might have been the whole point, I guess. Yeah. Top Lobster says, for when travel opens up again, a flight or hotel voucher should make a great gift. Yeah, a flight or a hotel voucher, something that, let's see, what would I want to get? Get something that you could do together. Actually, no, get something that she'll wear. Like, get something that she would wear, but she wouldn't buy it for herself. Like, it's a type of thing that you wouldn't get for yourself, but you would love it. Like a shirt or a dress or a piece of jewelry, like a necklace or something, or a type of makeup or like lipstick or a perfume. A perfume, although she's not going to be going out a lot. Haha. It's a banking crisis, says Doug, for straight guys all over and quite a few turfs. Wait, what's a banking crisis for what to get it as a gift? Yeah, don't break the bank. Don't get something that's gonna be like, what up, Tom? Don't get something that's too expensive. So you know what you should get? You should get something funny. Sorry, I keep changing my mind. You should get something funny. Get a t-shirt that has you and her on it. Oh my gosh, that's literally the best gift. Get a t-shirt that's you and her, and it should be funny, like it should be a meme. Like a funny, I don't know. Like a funny, weird picture of you and her, and turn it into a meme and make it and put it on a t-shirt. And that would be cute. Doug says, ask Richard about how Elliot is a banking crisis. I'm gonna ask him right now. I'm gonna text him. Right now. It okay. Using the baby filter on a shirt. Doug says, I got a gift with an unusual name in the book that first had her name in it from the 4th century. She loved that. Yeah, something personal. Yeah, I type really fast. I'm a writer. That was what I did before I became a real estate agent, like 2 seconds ago. I was a writer the whole time, even from while I was in college until after I was in college, and I was just writing. And then I just became, but I keep plugging in my real estate stuff, but I should stop. Doug says, I got a girl with an unusual, oh yeah. Baby filter on Snap? Yeah, put her face on a baby filter. By the way, oh no, not this one. This one. This is a New Yorker thing. Did you guys see this? It's like the New Yorkers, their spread on New York living. This is like what it means to be a New Yorker. Be in a really gross apartment that's really stuffy and has your shit everywhere and just looking good on camera. That's actually also what it's like to be a Londoner, by the way. If any of you are from London, you'll get it it's even worse than New York. People look great. You'll see them in the street and they look great. You get a little bit closer to them and you realize they smell really bad, but like from the outside, you see them and they look great. And then you go to the apartment that they live in, it's tiny and gross, overpriced, and really, really depressing. Like really messy, and there's always stuff everywhere. That's what it means to live in New York. Yeah. Prescription bottles on the table. It's really depressing and dumb. Top Lobster says, how's the real estate market in Texas? It's really great. I don't know. Richard's like, what? Ellen is becoming Elliot? She became Elliot today. She announced she's a dude. So Doug said, it's a sign of banking crisis. And he says, you would know what I'm talking about. Okay, quick question. Do you guys think that I should do you think that I should talk about real estate on my live streams? Because, so Top Lobster asked about the real estate market in Texas. So the Dallas-Fort Worth market is like really, really popping. There's a lot to be done. There's like a lot of growth, especially in the suburbs. In the places that I personally really want to focus on is like either North Dallas or North like Fort Worth, like the Flower Mound, South Lake area. I love Flower Mound. That's a really, really fun and cool area. It's a really big mix of people, but there's a lot of like Republicans in that area, which is fun. And I don't have to like censor myself and try to hide all the time. And they're really cheap houses that are gorgeous, massive, gorgeous. And you would never be able to find houses like that anywhere else, especially not for the prices that they are. It's just really cool. And that's what I'm trying to focus on. So I've been talking to people that are in part of my brokerage firm about getting live streams, going to those houses. Doug says, don't get the real estate stream mixed up with the normal one, should be its own thing. Okay, so I'm gonna make that separate. So I won't talk about real estate here. I won't talk about real estate here. I'll make that a separate thing. And the real estate pages, like I'll do what I do here, but I'll do it on the real estate pages. But on those pages, it might be a little bit less personal than here. Like this is like everything. This is my personal thing. But in that one, I'm just gonna make it I'm gonna try to make it very professional and only about real estate. So yeah, I'll talk about it in a separate stream. But Flower Mound is something that is somewhere that I really want to focus on because it's great. It's a great place for, especially if you're trying to get out of New York and California. It is kind of related to this because, it's very related. That's part of why I switched careers. So many people that are trying to get out of those places, and it does have a lot to do with politics. So it's all related, but I got potentially some great houses that I could do live streams on, and I can show them to you in person, that I can do live streams of the houses, and I'm really excited about that. Thanks for the super sticker, Top Lobster. Thank you so much. You guys are like really being nice. Thank you so much. Jim says New York is not as bad as it's New York City that's worse. Yeah, usually when people talk about New York, they keep talking about New York City, which I feel bad for everybody else in New York because they're just reduced to being like just the side people, even though the actual New York City is such a small part of New York, but everybody just means New York City, which is annoying probably for if you live in upstate. Probably very annoying. Doug says, I like my neighborhood in Brooklyn, but that city is very uneven on desirability. Interesting. Okay, so I think everybody just finished. I think everyone is like over the whole Juno thing. I'm over it, but I just wanted to make it clear that I actually don't care if you like congratulate Juno or not. That's I don't care. I don't care if you. I'm not gonna think of you as like a hater if you congratulate her or you don't congratulate her. You can congratulate her too. But I mean, I'm not gonna say him or they, but just because I don't feel like it, because I feel like pressure to, and it's not even real at all. So I'm just gonna say her, but I won't I won't hate you if you do. I'll probably assume that you're like, you know, virtue signaling, but that's just my opinion, so do what you gotta do. Maybe you have to say that because you're trying to look good in front of your boss or whatever. I'm not gonna oppose that. Go have fun, like. Rosemary says, I'll just say Elliot. I've never been to upstate New York, but I'm sure it's pretty. Anyway. Yep. So apparently everybody keeps asking me, like, I mean, everybody from my family keeps calling, because my family's not super political, so, but they keep calling, you know, they keep asking me, so is Trump winning? Is Trump becoming president? And I'm like, I don't know. I really don't get any of this stuff. I know that there's a bunch of lawsuits happening. Like, I kind of get it. I know there's a bunch of lawsuits happening, and Trump is suing a lot of these election organizations that committed election fraud, but I don't know if it's gonna work in getting him. I don't know if he's gonna be president. And if he does become president, like if he does win those cases and they say, you know, Supreme Court rules Trump is president, then I would be surprised. Like, if Supreme Court rules that he's president, I would expect there to be a lot of riots. Like, I don't know, actually. I don't know if I'd be surprised. I have no idea. But if Supreme Court says that he's president somehow because he won these cases, then I am pretty certain that there's gonna be a lot of riots. People will be in the streets, like, and I mean, like, you know, lefty activists and stuff like that. They'll be out in the streets. They'll be like lighting shit on fire, but all that stuff that they've been doing this whole year. So Max says, I'm a libertarian, so I really didn't like Trump or Biden. So I didn't like Trump or Biden, but he really just needs to concede. Yeah, the thing about Trump, the thing about Trump that a lot of people who are on the right were really upset about is that Trump is Republican, so Republicans have to listen to him because he's part of their party, but he did a lot of things that were very, like, Democrat, and even he was just very, like, trying to compromise with Democrats and trying to be on their side and trying to, like, work with them, but it kind of threw Republicans under the bus because they had to listen to him, so you ended up having Republicans agreeing to a lot of like Democrat policies and like social welfare policies and all these things that Republicans don't like, but they just did it just because Trump is a Republican and they have to listen to him. So with Biden, at least they can kick back at him and be like, no, we're not doing that. So I think that's why a lot of people on the right like were not happy with Trump, because they feel pressured because he's like using the Republican platform to push a lot of things that are not good for Republicans. Hidalgo says, why is the economy crashing good? No, I don't think the economy crashing is good. Oh, you're saying good for Democrats. The economy crashing is good for Democrats because Democrats are trying to push for more like leftist policies. They want the government to be more involved. They don't want people making money as independently as they do. Like they want the government to have more control over like people's businesses and people's whatever. They want like a more redistributive economy. They don't want it to be like, I'm saying why it would be better for Democrats if the economy crashed. It's also a very convenient excuse, like coronavirus and all that. It's a very convenient excuse for the government to have more power and expand. Max says Democrats need you to rely on the state, and the economy crashing makes more people rely on the state. Yeah, exactly. Democrats need a crisis to happen. They need the economy to crash. They need things like that for people to rely on the state and for people to vote Democrat, because voting Democrat is going to give them more, stimulus packages. And I get what Trump was trying to do. Trump was trying to say, we're not Democrats, but we'll still give you stimulus packages, so vote for us. But I think what he ended up doing, because Democrats are so unlikely to compromise with Republicans, and because they're so unlikely to vote for Trump, I don't know. I think what he ended up doing was he alienated a lot of his base. Like, I really believe that. His base, more than, because Democrats were already conditioned to hate him. So instead of getting those people to flip, I think he ended up alienating a lot of the people who were on his side. Yeah, like, and that's a big that was a huge wake-up call for me. I realized that I really should not be sucking up to people at all. And if I was sucking up to people and trying to like pretend to be very middle of the road, centrist, I don't care. I don't care what you call me. You can call me whatever you want. I'm not gonna, I shouldn't. Because the people who don't like me, the people who are conditioned to not like anybody that had ever had any association with a Trump person, whatever, those people are gonna hate you no matter what. So, Population says, seems like Israel believes Biden will prevail. A few less Iranians today, than there was last week. Max says, if you rely on the state to live, then you'll vote for the party that hands out the money and you're told that the other party will literally kill you. Yeah. Yeah, and you're also like more easily controllable. You're way more controllable, and in their minds, people are less likely to like commit crimes because they're more controlled and controllable. That's what goes on in their mind. The reality is the opposite though. Usually in socialist countries, there's a lot more crime just because you can only control people so much. What ends up happening is just that eventually over the course of I don't know how many years, just eventually the economy just becomes so weak because there isn't any money coming in. So the government eventually becomes too weak to control everybody that it ends up snapping, and people end up eventually committing crimes and getting away with it and just stealing. A lot of theft happens because you can't make money in a free way, so the only way to make money is basically resort to crime and theft. Flat Earth Truth says, what did you think of during the debate? Max says, of course, people that rely on the state commit less crime. We all know that Section 8 housing complexes are the safest place in America. Duh. Haha. Yeah, the opposite is true, obviously. People who rely on government do not commit crimes. Like, I mean, you're more likely to commit crimes statistically, for sure. Flat Earth True says, what do you think of during the debate, Kamala calling Pence Trump isolationists who don't have tough foreign policy? Do you expect a lot of war and strikes out of the Biden administration? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what to expect from Biden administration. I don't know. I feel like I don't think he's gonna do a lot. I think he's just gonna do whatever he's told to do by his advisors or whatever. I don't know. He did promise to make lockdowns stricter, so that's something that I'm worried about. These lockdowns, as I mentioned last night, like these COVID passports that they're making, they're gonna have everybody have digital COVID passports that you can't travel without. You can't, and that's scary because you can't leave if you choose not to get vaccinated and you want to leave the country because you don't want to get vaccinated, you can't. So you're basically stuck. You're like in jail because you can't. If you don't get vaccinated, you can't get a passport. If you don't get a passport, you can't leave the country. So you're really stuck, and it's kind of scary. It's very scary. And yeah, I feel like it's already happened in a lot of ways, but I guess Biden is like more open to it. Okay. Population says Biden doesn't know what to expect from a Biden administration. Haha. Max says, it's funny, I don't mind self-isolating, wearing a mask, social distancing, but if Biden mandates all those things, I will immediately stop wearing a mask and start going out more often. Yeah, I really want to do I really want to start having like COVID parties in the Dallas-Fort Worth area where like everybody just hangs out like a speakeasy, and I'm sure there's a way that you can do it without getting in trouble, or at least coordinate it without getting in trouble. Like everyone just shows up to a place and just hangs out and has fun without worrying about cops or whatever. So that would be a lot of fun. Alrighty. Hope everybody has a wonderful evening. I think I'm gonna go. And I'm like getting ready for tomorrow because I have my first, tomorrow I'm having my first like meeting with my mentor, the real estate person. So I'm like trying to prep for that and trying to get to know like, so I'm really excited about that. What up? What up, Evan Rosie? Thanks, Doug. Thank you so much. Do you guys think I should make these live streams longer? Like, do you think I should keep doing these for like hours and hours? Because I know some people are just like listening on their way to work or whatever. So I could, but I don't know. And I was also thinking of doing a live on Instagram, but we'll see. Okay, I'm gonna do a live on Instagram. Actually, I'm gonna do a live on Instagram on my real estate page. This one, Pardes Real Estate. Pardes at Pardes Realty. So I'm gonna do a live on that Instagram page. If I get 500 followers, I'm gonna do a live there, and it's gonna be like real estate focused, but yeah. Max says, I definitely watch, not on Insta though. I hate Insta. Gotcha. I will not do it on Instagram. Yeah, Instagram is annoying because you can't go back. I think, or can you? Can you go back and watch like a live stream that already happened? Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Alrighty. And then also, we got Zuby on Thursday, and that one's gonna be earlier because he's streaming from the UK. So Zuby will be Thursday at 1 p.m. Dallas time. 1 p.m. Dallas time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. I'm gonna like keep tweeting about it so you remember. But Zuby, the rapper from the UK, is gonna be on this live stream Thursday at 1 p.m. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye, and thanks to everybody. Thank you everybody that like that gave me super chats. Like, and also thank you for everybody that didn't and just joined. Thank you so much. It was really cool to see you guys. Alrighty. Bye.